27 News, WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
Bucky's big win has a lot of people excited about the team's future, what the players and fans are saying about today's blowout.
And chilly for now, but we are talking about a warm-up in that forecast. I've got the update in just a moment.
The nation in mourning what we're learning after a deadly attack on a mosque in Egypt that left 300 people dead.
We've got you covered. This is 27 News at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm David Johnson. Jennifer has the night off. Well, it was a euphoric day for Badger football fans as they pulled off a blowout win against rival Minnesota, bringing back the Axe to Madison for yet another year. 27 News Sports Director Lance Vieser was there and has you covered with more from TCF Stadium in Minneapolis.
The Badgers looked sharp as they were able to grind out a victory here at Minnesota and claim Paul Bunyan's Axe for the 14th straight time. The nation's second-ranked defense lived up to the billing. Minnesota accumulated just 133 total yards. Meanwhile, Wisconsin had a methodical, balanced offensive attack. Alex Hornibrook threw 3 touchdowns as Wisconsin extends the longest win streak in the history of this rivalry with the 31-0 victory.
It means a lot to win this game and to leave the field with the Axe. And I thought our seniors, upperclassmen, did a great job of leading the way during the week.
We've had the Axe for 14 years now, so yeah, you don't want to be a part of the class that loses the Axe, so it's kind of important.
So the Badgers finished the conference regular season undefeated for the first time since 1912. Next up, the Big Ten Championship game Saturday in Indianapolis. From Minneapolis, I'm Lance Vieser for 27 News.
All right, thanks, Lance. Well, fans in Minnesota are gaining confidence in Bucky's future after today's win, and some even see Bucky going all the way to the top of the ranks.
Woo! I've been to Rose Bowls, I've been to Big Ten Championships, and there's more on the line today than there's ever been. You know what? Why not Wisconsin? We can do this.
The Badgers finished 12-0 for the first time in school history. Bucky's big win means the Badger football team will be headed to a major bowl or even a berth in the college football playoffs. The Wisconsin Alumni Association announced a pre-sale of tickets to travel with the Badger Bowl Tour. The organization says the process of getting tickets is easy. Fans choose the possible bowl game that they want to attend and place a security deposit for those packages. Now, if Wisconsin doesn't make it to those games, well, you get your money back. We'll have more information on our website after the newscast.
Today was certainly mild, but nowhere as warm as where we topped off yesterday. Record warmth on Black Friday, mid-60s. Now we're cooling back off pretty significantly, but pretty typical for late November. We're looking over the Beltline here on the west side of Madison. That's Whitney Way over at the Beltline. 30 degrees right now. Winds out of the northwest lightly, and that's going to be the trend overnight before we wake up tomorrow and winds shift out of the southwest, which will warm us back up pretty significantly for your Sunday. 27 right now in Reedsburg, 20 the cool spot in Camp Douglas, 29 in Juneau, and 30 in Watertown. There are those winds which will slowly but surely shift more so out of the southwest. So a chilly setup tonight with temperatures getting into the mid-20s. Just how warm do we get tomorrow, though? Well, I think you're going to like this 7-day forecast. We'll discuss it in greater detail coming up here in just a few minutes, David.
All right, thanks, Max. Well, the world is in mourning tonight after a massive explosion at a mosque in Egypt yesterday that killed over 300 people. ABC's Linda Lopez has you covered tonight with more from New York with the latest.
So many graves, and there will be so many more for the over 300 victims, including 27 children, in the horrifying terrorist attack on an Egyptian mosque. The surviving imam, who was conducting Friday prayers at the time of the assault, recounting the moment the slaughter began. Saying, "I heard what sounded like an explosion outside the mosque, and then some people came inside firing at all the worshippers." Survivors say at least 24 militants carrying ISIS flags surrounded the mosque 125 miles northeast of Cairo, hurling explosives into the mosque and firing at everybody trying to escape through doors and windows. Then they stepped inside, shooting anybody who was still alive. Many victims said their final prayers during the carnage. They even shot at arriving ambulances. No group has claimed responsibility, but the Islamic State is suspected. Those worshipping may have followed a mystical form of Islam called Sufism, which ISIS considers heresy. Muslims in the U.S. condemning the attack.
It connects back to the Texas shooting we had recently. People who are worshiping, killing them doesn't make any point, and I feel really sad that it's still happening.
And Egypt's military now retaliating. Their Air Force now striking militant hideouts and bases in the Sinai Peninsula. Linda Lopez, ABC News, New York.
Egypt is observing 3 days of mourning, and Christian churches across Cairo are ringing their bells in memory of the victims. Meanwhile, the military says anti-terrorism operations are ongoing. And right now, news outlets in China are reporting a massive explosion in a busy port city just south of Shanghai. Now, there's no confirmation yet of the number of fatalities or if those injured, but the reports say the explosion was large enough to level several nearby buildings. And we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. 3 sailors lost in a plane crash in the Philippine seas have been identified, according to Navy officials. Lieutenant Sean Combs, Airman Apprentice Brian Gossing, and Airman Matthew Chandelace were aboard a transport plane that crashed into the sea near Okinawa Wednesday. 8 people were rescued. The Navy ended the search and rescue mission for those sailors on Thursday. Argentina's Navy is insisting that a missing submarine seemed to be in good condition when it set off on a training mission, despite fears it later exploded beneath the sea with 44 crew members aboard. The Navy spokesperson said the sub passed a routine check just 2 days before setting sail. The submarine has been lost in the South Atlantic for more than a week. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a bill today allowing Russia to register international media outlets as foreign agents. The move is seen as a retaliation after state-funded RT television was registered by the U.S. Justice Department as a foreign agent following pressure from Washington. Last week, Russian officials warned U.S. government-funded media outlets that they could be designated as foreign agents under that new law. Well, how Small Business Saturday is making an impact on communities right here in Madison, and why they say the day upholds Wisconsin values. And I rescued the local hotel where a 2-year-old boy was found unconscious in a hot tub, and what police are saying happened when they pulled him from the water.